Welcome home. We are WNST, AM 1570, Tassin, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. We are positively out in the holiday season, having crab cakes all over the area, really in the city a lot. We're this week we'll be in Fadley's on Wednesday, celebrating the holidays and shipping out crab cakes from there all over the world. The world famous Fadley's crab cake, a little mustardy, delicious, unique. Also, we're going to be at Amici's next Tuesday, the 17th, and the 18th. We will be at Costas. All of it brought to you by our friends at the Maryland Lottery. I have Ravens scratch-offs. Pretty lucky batch. Not as lucky as the last batch, but still a good batch. And I'm going to have a fresh batch next week as well as our friends at Jiffy Lube Multi-Care, keeping us out on the road and getting Luke ready for football season. I have decided here during the holiday season, as we get up on Christmas, to have some old friends on who have written books. They're all out signing books for the holidays because Santa brings books, and books bring wisdom, and with wisdom comes a better society. And I like the mentor types, the teaching types, the leadership types around here. And this guy, I've been trying to have him on. I go down to Ocean City every year with Mako, and it's like a special thing because I'm behind like a door number one where there's a credential and this and that, it's security, and like it's like a serious convention. And Hondo Handy is a guy who has come to me. We have done a couple segments together, and we keep up at on social media. He has a book called Defying Expectations. He is a long-time athlete, athletic supporter, leader of men, coach, recreation council, dude, track and field guy, Salisbury legend, and now in Berlin, Maryland, where my friend makes some very, very good beer at Burley, the Burley Beer Company there with a lot of East Baltimore ties. We welcome Hondo back in, always defying expectations. So every day I'm here, I'm defying expectations, my brother.
Yes, yes. Thank you so very much for having me back on. I appreciate it.
Well, you've been honored by like the president and stuff lately and been going, I mean, you're picking up all sorts of accolades here. And some folks in Baltimore might not know your background, but I got to know you. You have really created a life in leadership and recreation and service that's really all been around sports and around your being a little bit undersized to play basketball. You're too short. You're too small. You're too
Uh,
slight. You're
uh,
all that, right? And look
uh,
at you.
oh, yeah. With all that, I wanted to defy everyone's expectations of me. And that's the name of my book, Defying Expectations. Yes, I love sports, and I've promoted sportsmanship throughout my life.
Well, what on a daily basis here, when you see sports as you see it, what do you make of modern sports? Because I'm 56. I'm not a get off my lawn guy. I'm not someone I'm not detached. I've known football players, baseball players, hockey players, coaches all of my life. It's all I've ever done until they threw me out about 2 years ago, is know and respect. Really, I mean, I saw Shannon Sharp's diet. I saw the way he fed himself. I've seen these guys, the fluids, the needles, the pain, the surgeries, the crutches, the rehabs, all
Mm.
of this. But there's a point where sometimes I don't recognize modern sports. Like I talked about this with Todd Radom a couple weeks ago about jerseys. Like sometimes I put an NBA game on and it doesn't ring true to me. In the NFL, sometimes the jerseys and the uniforms and all of that. But sometimes it's just sort of like the sportsmanship side of what you talk about, which is these fights that the college players had a couple of weeks ago about flags and what is respect and what is taunting and what is celebrating and end zone dances and guys getting up and dancing when their team's behind by 3 touchdowns. Sometimes I don't recognize it beyond the sport to where the entertainment part has changed, bat flips in baseball and different things that to your generation and my generation, we would call it sportsmanship, right, Hondo?
Right. Well, things have changed, especially at the college level. I mean, I think it was influenced by some of the professional levels, and now it's kind of made its way down to the college levels, where the like you said the other week, there were a lot of taunting, a lot of unsportsmanlike efforts on the ball fields, and it's not really good for sports.
Well, the kids see it, right? Give
Yes.
everybody your background because just give the elevator speech that you give when you give your book speech about because I could read a little bit of it, but you tell it a little better and you've told it to me once, and I know your book kind of tells the story as well, but you went from loving sports to not being good enough to be a billionaire. You came back to your home area, and you have been, when I said, who's some people in Ocean City making a difference a couple years ago, they brought you to me, as well as some really good Thrasher's French fries, as I remember,
Right, right.
down at Jolly Roger. And I got to know you a little bit and talk to you, but you remind me, A, of my father, who was a recreation council leader, umpire, setting up the snowball stand. I had to carry all the catcher's equipment, the bats and balls home because my dad was the manager, and making sure the kids in the neighborhood had organized ball, which is, at the heart of our society. It's some glue that holds us together through economics, race, challenges, politics, all of that, that you have seen this in your life. It's the way you've lived your life over on the shore.
It's the one thing that keeps families and youth together, and that's sports. Um, it's there's no, it's different from society. Any race, any group of kids can get along when they're playing sports. That's one thing they have in common. And I just wanted to promote sports in a positive way my entire time. And it's been a challenge, but I've continued to do so, and I continue to do so today.
That your background was in recreation, correct? When I met you in recreation leadership in the Ocean City area, how many years did you serve down there in working with young people like yourself who would come back and you had some decorated athletes down there, degrees, college scholarships, go on to do things, but the community, and you and I had a laugh about this, about softball diamonds down on 4th Street where the water tower was when I was a boy in the 70s and playing ball down there. But there's been a rich tradition of sport down there that I know, every time I talk to Tom Perlazzo, and he's got a baseball name and a
Yeah,
baseball brother, that you're always trying to, even when it comes to tourism down there, aside from the great concerts and the good stuff that we do down at the beach, but there is a point where bringing sports together, whether it's volleyball, basketball, whatever, baseball, lacrosse, whatever it is, soccer, bringing people together. You built something there that I think the whole Ocean City community wants to build on, Hondo.
I tried to do my best while I was here, and it looks like it's continuing to build in Ocean City. As a matter of fact, you talked about 3rd and 4th Street ball fields that you used to see. That is now changed. It's now called the Bayside Park at 3rd Street. They connected both parks together. They have pickleball. That park is one large park downtown. They connected pickleball. They moved the skate park uh, closer to 3rd Street. They put in pickleball courts, a fantastic playground for kids, walking paths. You wouldn't notice it unless you went down there to see it. But
Well,
parks,
hey man, don't you have to invite me did you just invite me to Ocean City?
they just invited you to
I'm
see
in.
it.
I'm in. Count me. I need better weather than this week now. I mean, when
Yeah.
Batman was spinning the tunes down at the paddock, you get me down there on New Year's Eve,
Yes,
But I prefer to go down to the beach when I put my feet in the water. I do.
I got you. Now, I wanted to tell you that you probably I don't know if you had a chance to read my book, but look, my background comes from a time when I grew up as a young kid with no indoor plumbing, and a lot of people equate success and achieve positive achievements to where you came from and what you had. So I went to an all black elementary school, and in the 6th grade down here, our high schools were 7th grade to 12th grade. Down here, in my 6th grade, they said in the next few years, all the schools in this county are going to be integrated. So here's your opportunity to go to our local school, Stephen Decatur High School, early. Now, at that time, there was a black school in Worcester County, and all my family members went to that school. But myself and a few of my friends, including Oliver Burnell, who coached at Clemson University, Ron Dixon, we decided to go to Stephen Decatur and become the first 6 African Americans in the school. Um,
What year was that, to put a date on it for everybody, Hondo?
that was 1965, and this was before integration. So we're going early. And so we went on there and couldn't play any sports for a couple of years because couldn't play until the 9th grade. So our coach, Ward Lammer, allowed us to become managers 7th and 8th grade. And by the time we reached the 11th grade. We were the starting three guards on the state championship team that won at
Hold on a second now.
University of
How
Maryland.
tall are you as you stand here right now? Don't lie to me, Hondo.
I claim 5'5".
That means you're 5'4".
But I have a picture. I have a picture with Muggsy, and he and I are standing next to each
You're
other.
taller than Muggsy.
Well, I was.
He's legit 5'3". I swear he really is.
I would say yes.
Spud Webb, though, maybe not. Not.
Maybe not Spud
Al Hondo Handy, the book is Defying Expectations. He's lived a beautiful life over in the Eastern Shore. He is checking in from Berlin, Maryland. Means you need to get across the bridge at some point. Get your feet in the water here. It might get 60 by the end of the week, just for a minute when you're over there. Give me a little bit more on your book and picking people up for the holidays. It's a great gift. And I know you speak to a lot of young people. You're always out. You're honored, again, by the president. You're too humble to talk about it. So you have to tell me about it and all that. But you have really found another calling in life as, I don't want to say a motivational speaker, but certainly a shining light for what is possible what has been possible in your life when you talk about not having indoor plumbing, not growing up as a young person, not even believing you could go to a regular high school. There was no such thing, to all of the things that you've done and contributed here, including this book, which is sort of your crowning achievement. I mean, I remember when it was just coming out, you were getting excited about it coming out. Now it's been out maybe 2 years, 3 years. How long has it been out?
It's about 2 years. Yep.
2 years, and still selling, still out signing for the holidays, still inspiring people, because your story, it's not like my football stories that grow old and tired, after a championship. You're still out sort of living what you talk about.
Yes. I, the book has allowed me to what I call book signings, keynote speakings, storytelling, 65 different opportunities. So I've gone from talking to book clubs to Timonium Park and speaking to the whole city, to lots of children groups. I just went there last week to a couple of schools. I gave out books to two different schools, Buckingham Elementary and Stephen Decatur Elementary. I've just sold and donated my 1100th book. I'm so excited for it as we keep going. And speaking of football, as you just mentioned, my high school, Stephen Decatur, just won their second state championship the other day, undefeated 2 seasons in a row at the Naval Academy. So I always go and promote sportsmanship with those guys. So, and
now,
they
do you
did a
know some
great
of those young
job.
people from your recreation work?
Yes, I do. It's just a blessing to see them keep going. We got 2 kids going to Vanderbilt. We got one going to Georgetown, one going to the Army. So they're doing really good, and you can see the smile. You can just tell the smiles that they put on my face.
Well,
And
maybe did they read your book?
I took my book there.
If they read your book and they're going to Vanderbilt, then they're set, right?
They probably all read my book or heard of my book because it's in their school libraries.
Well, that's awesome. Al Hondo Handy's joining us. He's down at the beach, and we love getting down to Ocean City, Maryland. We get down there for Mako every year, hoping to get down there a little bit more often, quite frankly, because it's just, it's a mindset. And for you growing up there, and there's not a lot of people I can ask this about. I mean, I don't know, at any given point, they would always say there's only a couple thousand people live in Ocean City or in that part of the world back in the 70s and 80s. You even predate that. What do you make of the modern Ocean City and tourism, and when people come down and what they expect, whether it's family, nightclub, dining, fishing, getting away, recreation, whatever it is? You've really seen the whole footprint of all of it, every part of it grow from a child up, right? Like, I can't imagine what your eyes saw at the beach in the early 60s when you came over there, because it's a completely different kind of postcard, and you've really seen it growing up.
I've seen so many changes. I mean, we've started at 3rd Street City Hall, where the mayor and city council was. That was our headquarters. That was our office. And now we're at the beautiful Northside Park. You know, it's, it's you can't imagine the changes that I've seen from a small park to just a fantastic, one of the best parks in the state of Maryland, and doing things for people all over the state, not just the locals. As we right now are signing up kids for summer camp for next year, and by January, believe it or not, that's Nestor, it's going to be full. You
What is
can't
the
even.
summer camp? Tell me what that means. What is your summer camp?
Well, we begin with just one all day camp, like you see in a lot of recreation councils and departments. But now we have almost 65 sports camps, from lacrosse to um, basketball to soccer to fishing. We have 10 to 11 different camps starting every Monday, and those camps fill up so much. Right now, parents are booking their camps, asking their kids what they want to do for next summer, and they can sign up right now, so they get their hotel books, their room bookings, and to get in early because in January it's full for next June already.
Hondo Handy, the book is Defying Expectations. He is luckier than me. He's this close to Thrasher's French fries and all that the Coastal Highway has to offer down there. They ship us Fisher's popcorn now, so at least we got that going on up here. They can't ship me the French fries the way I want. But you know what? You already invited me down to the beach, so I'm gonna get back down to the beach. Give Tom Perlazzo my best. Everybody's excited about concerts down there, getting back, and as it gets colder, I tell the Ocean City people this all the time. All you need for a postcard to go to Ocean City is to walk out the door right now and it's cold. And you know that when you're making these sort of plans into the spring and into the summer, that you're planning ahead. You're staying in the state, driving down, supporting local, and I hope a lot of people buy your book as well. It's been great having you back on. Now, if I remember right, you root for the wrong football team, right? Am I correct in saying that?
The wrong football team. What are you talking about?
What's the right football team? You a Raven guy? Oh,
The
you're a Raven guy. All right. I was
Baltimore
worried.
Ravens.
I was worried that that burgundy and gold thing was a part of maybe somewhere. I was just worried about that.
No, this is a jacket from one of my kids that's in my book. His name is Sean Harris. That was in my program. He is now the dean of athletics at West Cliff University in California.
Oh, see, you got these great student achievements that are happening out there.
Yes, yes.
Well, I'm glad to see that you're at least a Baltimore Ravens fan because I was worried that you might
Oh
have been
no.
a Washington,
Uh,
but no,
and, and by the way, I just want to let you know that my book has reached 47 states and vacation destinations. I mean, from um, Korea to the Netherlands to Japan, Jamaica, it's all over the place.
well, your message is universal. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
It is.
5'5", and I swear he plays like he's 5'7", and a point guard, and plays with the big heart. Defying Expectations is the book. Al
Yes,
Hondo Handy checking in from Berlin, Maryland. Hold that book up. Tell me about that book. Now people can order that on Amazon, correct?
you can order it on Amazon, all kind of platforms. It's there, so please go ahead and order my book, especially for Christmas. It's all about my life, family, sports, and recreation.
If you think you can, you can.
If you think you can, you can.
My aunt Claire used to tell me that. I am Nestor. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore. And we never stop talking. Great stories, even from the beach back to Baltimore. We're Baltimore positive. Stay with us.